process mining for robotic process automation. This is going to be the theme for us for the next, let's say, 30 minutes. And then after that, there will be some time left for your questions. So if you have any questions, please feel free to write them down to the chat box of the GoToWebinar, and we'll be addressing them after this generic part. So I'm going to first explain a little bit about how we see what is robotic process automation, and then what is process mining, and then talk a little bit of the challenges in robotic process automation. And of course, once we have the challenges, then I'm really happy to show how process mining helps to overcome those challenges and make the robotic process automation projects more successful. So how you can get more out of RPA by using process mining. That is the theme for today. All right, so what is RPA? Well, first of all, let's see what Gartner research is saying about this. According to the Gartner, it's a productivity tool. So it allows computers to do manual things on behalf of humans. So basically means that there is one single human doing one single task, and that can be replaced by RPA bot doing exactly that particular task for exactly that particular case. And now, of course, if you have 50 people working, then if they're all doing the same tasks, then of course the bots can replace and do the manual tasks on behalf of those people if the tasks really can be automated. So if there is enough logic and understanding that the computer is able to do those tasks. So RPA bots are actually doing the tasks within a big process. So process is something end to end, and then it consists of individual tasks. And now the robotic process automation is actually automating the individual tasks within the processes. And there are many things that RPA bots need in order to be successful. They can manipulate, they can execute transactions, they can do things, copy something from one system to another system. For example, when you have a Salesforce system in use for your incoming orders, then when the order comes in, the bot can automatically create the corresponding order into your SAP system, for example. So something is entered into one system, and then the bot is automatically creating the corresponding event into the next system. That is RPA. So what is then process mining? Well, process mining is a technique that we use to discover, monitor, and improve real processes. So in each company, each organization, there are a lot of activities happening. Some of the activities are being done by humans. Some of the activities are done by RPA bots, and some of the activities are done by large process automation workflow ERP systems. So sometimes the systems are doing the tasks automatically according to some algorithms. But process mining is a technique to understand, discover, monitor, and improve those real processes. And process mining is reading the data from all those transaction systems. So it doesn't matter whether the activity has been done by a human or by RPA bot. Process mining is able to read those low-level activities and task informations, and then build the big end-to-end process flowcharts and discoveries for all of your cases, like all of the sales orders, all of the purchase orders. So we can really discover the high level and all the details. And with this discovery, process mining then enables the user to understand that, analyst to understand that whether the process is going in a way as it should, and also what are the problems and challenges in the process, the long end-to-end process. Those are the advanced analytic features in process mining. So now, how we say and how Gartner is saying that these two tools and methods should be used together, RPA and process mining. So the basic idea in the overall nutshell is that process mining should be used to identify the inefficiencies on a high level and also on the detail level. So identify the inefficiencies, really understand what is the real problem in the process. And based on that data, the analysis goes further so that you discover those tasks that should be automated by the bots and scripts. So you use process mining to really understand how the process goes and find the tasks that should be automated by those bots. And then once you do that, then you use the process mining to measure and monitor that is now the whole end-to-end process improved. So process mining is sitting on a high level, looking at the whole process, and RPA is very targeted into individual tasks that are being automated one by one. Process mining is the high level monitoring, discovering tool that is like all the time telling how the process is going, what is the health of the process. Okay, so some of the challenges in RPA include choosing the wrong process. So RPA is very popular nowadays, and the people, the teams are sometimes quite technical. So there's a lot of technologies involved, and it may not be so easy to realize that what should be the right process and the right tasks to automate. And for example, there may be too many exceptions. So if you try to automate something with too many exceptions, the RPA might fail because it cannot choose the right ones. This process is not that simple as somebody may think. So then, and the cost of error may be too high, so then it's not worthwhile to automate. If the cost of error is high, you would probably want to have the human involved, and there could be like the whole process can be too complex. So there are very many reasons why choosing the right process and tasks may not be so easy. And now the challenge in normal processes is that exceptions are causing the effort. So we have seen in many places that many organizations that 80% of the business may be performed according to the agreed process. So there may be an agreed way how to handle an incoming customer order. And it may be that if it comes according to that process, then that only takes 20% of the whole effort of the organization. So if it goes according to the process, then it will be relatively easy to handle. But then we have the exceptional cases. So, and if 20% of the cases include exceptions, then those cases may take 80% of the effort. So this means that if your organization is in this kind of situation, then if you automate with a very straightforward bots, you automate straightforward things, you can only reduce this 20% effort that is like the streamlined agreed process way of doing. So your benefit that you can get with RPA is only in this area that is handled without exceptions. So now what we suggest you to do is find your exceptions in your process and improve the process in a way that there wouldn't be so many exceptions. So that is a normal process improvement work, so that you can immediately cut down this part of the manual effort. And then of course what is left, then it makes sense to then automate that with the RPA. So streamline the process first with the traditional business process reengineering methods. like let's harmonize the process so that we wouldn't have 10 different ordering, 10 different process variants for all the product categories. Let's try to use the same way for all of the products, and then we can take the bots into use much more easier. Okay, then one challenge that companies have is that that some companies or organizations try to automate a complete end-to-end business process. So they kind of think that, okay, let's take the whole process and make it completely automated. Let's automate all the steps because it's robotic process automation. Well, as Gartner is saying, this may not be the right way to go. So don't be over ambitious with the end-to-end regarding RPA. Rather, what you should do is to use the process mining to capture the whole business process with all the details and activities. And then from this total complete process mining picture, pick those tasks that are the best candidates for your RPA and do your RPA implementation incrementally, one by one, selecting more the next activity to be automated. And this is how you can keep the whole process in a good shape, monitor with process mining, and get continuous improvements with the RPA approach. Okay. So process mining, as we see, is gives you the end-to-end visibility to the whole process, and this combination of using the process mining and then the RPA to automate the individual tasks. That is what also companies like Gartner are saying. That's the winning formula. Then you have the full visibility into how your processes are going. In reality, what's the durations, kind of lead times between the activities, what is the customer problems, maybe you are getting product returns, whatever challenges you have in the process mining will show those, and then RPA you can use to automate individual tasks. Okay, so what are the typical indicators for the RPA opportunity? So there's often the situation that you have a bottlenecks. So of course, if you have a bottleneck in your process, then the lead times will start growing. And if you would be able to remove the bottleneck, the whole process duration will be shorter and you will be having a much better throughput. So you could manage more business with same results. So search for the bottlenecks. And process mining is very good for finding the bottlenecks. Then the process steps with human errors. So if your process mining analysis is showing that there are these kind of root causes that result from the human error, then you can see that, okay, these steps are such that the human errors are causing a lot of problems. So maybe you can replace, if you could replace the human in that particular step, you would also get rid of the human errors. Of course, you would then have the RPA errors, but it may be that it's just copying of sales orders from one system to another system. So humans are not maybe the best one for that kind of tasks, if it's very, very straightforward, but the RPA can do that probably very efficient. And then there's like activities that you know that the people don't like to do. They are like too much copy paste intellectually, like something that you get bored, and there's a high likelihood of mistakes, and you need to check very many lists, the corresponding numbers. Computers are good in that. So these are some of the indicators for the RPA opportunity. Okay, now let's move on and talk about the QPR solution for RPA. So the QPR solution consists of these 4 different steps. So the first step here is to analyze your current process. So understand the end-to-end process. That is what we say in process mining. That is the first step always when you want to improve your process, whether it is by using RPA or by doing some business process re-engineering or harmonizing the processes or auditing the process or generally taking a new ERP system into use or any improvement. You should first understand how the current process works and what are the problems in the process. So first you visualize and analyze your current process. And it will show you problem. I mean, if you don't have any problems in your process, if everything is perfect, then of course there's no point in improving or even making any RPA. So you should have a goal, an objective, what you want to achieve. And that goal should be visible with process mining. It shouldn't just be that, okay, we just want to make it shorter from I don't know what to I don't know what level. But process mining gives you exact figures of how long time it takes currently, and then you can set the goal, how fast you want the process to go in the future. So visualize and analyze. Then step number 2, identify the best processes and best tasks for robotic process automation. So now when you have understood your processes, there are often many processes in customer order handling. You may have the order intake, or you may have the logistics planning, or the production, or the supply chain management, or the invoicing. There can be many different processes within a long end-to-end process that you want to focus on. And within each individual process, there are many tasks. So you use the QPR solution to identify those best tasks. And I will show in the demonstration part how to do that. Then you automate the most then you do the RPA. So you automate your tasks, and once you start to automate, it's crucial that you keep on monitoring your bots with the process mining. So you use the process mining to monitor the end-to-end solution, so that the end-to-end process, so that you can see that when you change something, does it affect some side effects into other parts of the process. So you do the, once you roll out and deploy the RPA bot, it's not enough just to see that the one individual activity is working okay. It's very important to see that whether something else is then failing, let's say later on in the process. Okay, and then follow up and improve part where you utilize the machine learning to make predictions of the process steps and implement the dashboarding functionality so that you can monitor and keep the process in a healthy state after the RPA has been implemented. So understand the process, identify the opportunity, do the RPA, robots, bots, and then follow up, improve, monitor with the dashboard, the whole program. And cycle goes on, choosing the next task, and there you go. And the benefits of this solution is that you will have much more efficient RPA projects. So you will be able to complete your projects much faster. We have seen like 50% faster, so half the time. So you can do then much more of those automations. One automation takes 6 months to deploy and get working properly, then now you can do it in 3 months. If you used to do it in 2 months, now you can automate individual automations in 1 month. And then you get a better return on your investment because you have the better, more efficient RPA projects, but also the business will be much more efficient faster. So of course, the idea of the RPA project is that it makes the business more efficient, and that you will reach fast by using the process mining. And then the process mining gives you the continuous improvement. So full end-to-end process visibility. You need to have that because we are living in a changing environment. and anytime something can change, and maybe the bot that you have made doesn't operate correctly anymore because the world has changed and the information has changed, and you need to see that fast enough that, okay, now my process started to fail. And with process mining, you can see that on day-by-day level for the whole end-to-end. Okay, I'm happy to move to the next step of the presentation, which is the robotic process automation demo with QPR process analyzer. Let me go here and let's see, process discovery. Yes, so we are now here in the QPR process analyzer tool, and let's first a little bit look at the generic process mining functionality. So first of all, process mining has the ability to create the flowcharts. And this is an example of order to cash process, where the customer is sending a purchase order, and then we receive that as a sales order. And then we create the deliveries and shipments, and then we issue the goods to the customer, and then we send the invoices, and those are cleared and actually eventually paid. And there's a confirmed delivery date as well. So this is an example of a process mining with the process. And then if I want to reduce the level of details with the process mining tools, I can just see it more overall, or then I can add the level of details to see more detailed activities taking place here. Okay, so this is what we mean by getting the transparency, and here we see exactly how much time is being used in each of the steps. And one thing, for example, is that if there is something going kind of wrong in the process, so let's say that that we have something here, rejection, then what we can do here is that we can find the root causes. This is a normal process mining functionality in QPR process analyzer. So you can select anything that takes place and put that to be a root cause. So now what we see here is that the root cause of going to this rejection, sales order rejected, is that the goods were not issued, or the customer cancelled, no production capacity, or the business area is agriculture, or there was a particular month when this was very typical, or the sales order type was restock. So this is like a root causes for the problem that we highlighted here. And this you can do with all other kind of problems as well. So I just want to show you one example where you have the process duration, and you can see that, okay, the process is taking a long time, so I can just take these long-lasting cases, put them to be a root cause, and now you see here that, okay, the customer country United Kingdom is high in the list, or this particular month, November, December of 2019, were problematic months, so the duration has been very high. So there has been some bottlenecks in those time frames. And the sales organization Germany has also had bottlenecks, so the duration has taken a long time. This is process mining functionality. Okay, and let me now show you a bit more about the RPA. So we have order to cash model here, and we can go to the dashboards. And QPR process analyzer contains a lot of ready-made material for RPA. So let me show you, starting from the event automation dashboard. So you are now looking at the event level dashboard that is telling that you have had roughly 500,000 events, which means that a human or RPA bot has conducted one task. So if one task is done in one sales order, then that's called an event. And out of all these tasks, the automation rate, 25% of the events has been done by the bots, have been done automatically. And here you see the automation rate graph, which comes directly from Process Analyzer. So you see that the automation rate has been around 22, 25 over there, and it's like gradually being a little bit like a growing to this end. Then you see the automation rate for all the different event types. So you see invoice created, sales order item, invoice clearing, how many times it has been done automatically or manually or by the bot. And in this chart, you can already start screening for the automation opportunities. So you can see that how common the process, the step is. So these are all pretty common steps. So there's a lot of these events taking place. And then you see rate for the manual work. So shipment created 99.7% is always manual, whereas here invoice clearing 73.6% are manual. We also have this kind of invoice created over here where 29% is manual. So this step has been automated to a certain extent. Okay. So and then we can see the more details ordered by the sales organization here, and you can change this dimensioning, but we see that how much events there are in each of the sales organizations and what is the automation rate. So if you want to see like the Belgium, the automation rate is already 47 here, and in Australia 2.5 in this example there. So you can quickly see which parts of your organization, no matter what the dimension is, are behaving. How are they behaving? And what is the number of manual events, bot events, and automated events? So this dashboard gives you the first sight into the event, how the individual events look. Then I want to show you the case level automation. So case level is meaning that it would be nice to have some complete cases that are run automatically. So we call them touchless orders, and within this data you have 91.7 thousand cases, and only 0.1 are touchless. So it means that we have very few cases where there's only automated activities. But we see that there are quite a few of cases, 5.7, where we only have one manual activity, or 2, 3, and this is like 4 or more. So you can see that maybe the realistic target sometimes is to get into the 3 manual or 2 manual. It depends on your process and how you want to optimize. Then we see by the resource type. This is like the again like what kind of events we have. But here you have again like sales order for the customer country. So you see that okay, this is the amount of cases, and here you see the duration of the total case in relation to the manual activities. And this is sometimes a good graph for you to build the business case. So we see that if you have only one manual activity, then the average duration in this data is 3.5 days. But if you have 2 manual activities, the average duration is already 47 days. And here it keeps on growing. Here with 8 manual activities, you are already 106 days. So having the manual activities correlates heavily with the case total duration. So you have a business case of automating the activities and getting the total duration fast. And there's also the detailed analysis of if you have sales order item created as the only manual activity, then average case duration is 1. But if you have the shipment created as the only manual activity, then the average duration has been 49. So you can find those combinations where the improvement is the biggest. For example, there are 75 cases where these 4 activities take place, and the case duration is very, very high. So you can analyze the data with QPR Process Analyzer from very many different angles. That was the case automation dashboard, and then the next automation area helps you even further to realize that what kind of process step you should be automating next. So for example, the ratio of manual work, how much manual work you have, and the total event count. So you see that there are some activities that don't take place so often, but they are very manual, or here you have something that you have started to automate, and this is something that you are already pretty far. So from this you can select an event type that is typical enough and high in the list. And then automation level per the attributes. So we can see by the company codes. So is there some particular part of your organization, or for example, the item category? So which items, so the standard items, the automation rate is somewhere here, 15%. You have done a good work in this restocking, no, around 40% automation rate, but then you have some categories where the automation rate is like 0. So haven't automated that category at all. So you can find the categories where you see the biggest business potential. And the fourth view I wanted to show you is this, the processes have a lot of variations. And in this case, we are looking at the process that has, the process goes in different ways. So we have the automation by the event types over there, but here we can see that if the event type is invoice clearing and the previous event was invoice created, there we have the automation rate of this and the manual, lot of manual events, and the automated process goes in this total time, and the manual process takes this much time. So taking these into account and using the 10 euro as an activity cost per hour, you get the savings potential. So we can have a savings potential of automating this event after this particular event. So here we see that automating the invoice clearing after invoice created or invoice clearing, these two are the biggest savings potentials. They make the work, they give you the highest cost savings for the manual work. Okay, these kind of features we have available over here, and this is the process analyzer tool as you see. Just as a last comment, I would like to briefly show you that what we showed here are the dashboards. So they are the collection of all kind of graphics, graphs and charts. So we also have the specific productized chart components like automation per event. These are pretty much what I have been showing to you, and these are the ones that you can take into your own customized dashboards. So QPR Process Analyzer supports this kind of dashboarding metaphor where you can select from the predefined preset charts the ones into your dashboards that you want to use. And as you see, we also have a charts for the predefined charts for the digital transformation, rework, process KPI reporting, here the SLA compliance, on-time deliveries, 4I principles, and so on. So we have a lot of pre-built charts that you can take into your own dashboards. And here you see an example of a dashboards being created for this order to cash process analysis. And this is order to cash, but of course you could also as well be in the purchase to pay world. So you would see the, let's say here, the purchase to pay, for example, the overall operation overview would be here, and then to see the event level analysis of purchase to pay. It's kind of a similar dashboard, but now we see the automation opportunities count is finding from the purchase to pay events that information. Okay, this is the process analyzer, and I would like to conclude this presentation to this to our recommendation of how to take the process mining and business processes into how to really improve the processes in a systematic and consistent way, I would like to recommend you to have 3 KPIs for all of your cases. So one KPI should measure how happy the customer is to the outcome of the process. Like in the sales process, does the customer get the on time in full delivery for the goods? If I order from Amazon, is it on time in full? Do I get the stuff at the time? And is the invoicing accuracy good? Those are typical things that are important for the customer. Then the happy flow would be something that how were the things done inside the company, taking into account all the manual activities and all the bot activities. So is there a lot of rework? Basically, you measure, is it the first time right? And are the lead times good? So if it's first time right, things went as they were supposed to go, and lead times are short, then it's typically a happy flow internal. And now the third very important measure that we always suggest process mining people to take into their dashboards is the automation. So it means that what is the automation rate? How much of these operations and tasks are taking place automatically? And do we have no-touch cases? How many no-touch cases we have defined to be like case where there's only 1 or 2 manual activities or even 0 activities? So these 3 measures should be in good shape to reach process excellence nowadays. And it's very good if the RPA people, RPA teams can have access to the process mining information and can show their contribution to this happy automation, which is then leading typically to the better lead times, which is obviously leading to the on time in full for the customer. So whatever we do it in order to meet the customer requirements. Okay, that was pretty much